Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, happy Monday and welcome back from your Thanksgiving weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in on this last day of the month, which is Cyber Monday too. And if you're joining us on the replay, let me know that you're here by commenting on the word. Just comment with the word replay, so I'll catch your view. And if you're joining us live, welcome to the show. So let's start the week strong. Why don't we? Because it's Monday, and that's what we do. The Dow closed down, unfortunately, 266 points. Nasdaq also down 7. S&P trimmed 16 as well. But let's start with the positive. And this is actually the Dow's best month since January of 1987. The Dow Jones hasn't done this well in quite a long time. And let's just say today's what I would call a pullback. A haircut type of day. Those of you who have been to the salon or have been with your hairstylist, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Well, not in the literal meaning, like we're not actually getting a trim, but what I'm saying is we're not really getting a haircut today, but the financial market has had a great month. And today's the last day of that month. And we're looking back on a week or weeks at the Dow, the blue chip mega company index crossing over the 30,000 point for the first time, and the S&P creating new records too. Pullbacks, trimming is totally normal and very much necessary if you're investing in the financial markets. And many of you, I know, are investing in your 401k and IRAs and maybe children's education accounts and everything else. The market, very well, is just a wave at the beach. It doesn't and cannot continuously keep moving upwards without the occasional retreat, which is exactly what we're seeing today. Earlier today, the Dow dropped over 400 points. Two industries that benefit from the recent vaccine accounts, cruise lines and airlines, two of the best performing groups this month, had a really hard time today. The coronavirus has the power to quickly sober the market up, as you can see, as today many people continue to travel this past holiday. Unfortunately, probably too many people travel this holiday. With no stimulus relief round 2 in sight, investors are remaining cautiously optimistic. We just got to hold on to what we have right now. Hospitals are seeing rising cases of COVID-19 patients. Minks in Oregon are facing COVID killings. This is terrible. And Americans, employees, students, business owners, hospital workers, and the heads of these hospitals are pleading that it's extremely urgent, they're saying, that Congress pass another stimulus bill to help. Unfortunately, Democrats and Republicans continue to bicker and disagree on the size, scope, and timeline of what this financial relief will look like. But again, we're expected to resume stimulus discussions this week. The House of Representatives has just 9 in-session days left, and the Senate has just 14 before both break for the new year. So, unfortunately, up to 30 million people in the U.S. are at the risk of eviction in the coming months, and 6 million plus Americans are now relying on expanded unemployment benefits. And in October, you remember, the House Democrats had passed already the $2.2 trillion HEROES Act, which would have included a second round of stimulus checks for many Americans and extend other important financial benefits. And Republican lawmakers are still favoring a more targeted piece-by-piece approach to support and payouts. I don't know about you, but how I feel is that I just want the two groups to come together with some sort of stimulus relief, regardless of which side you're on the political fence of. I think we can all agree that there's so many Americans out there that continue to struggle, that need financial support, our restaurant owners, our hospitals. It goes on and on and on. And many of you as well can relate to this as well. Many of the CARES Act government relief programs are scheduled to expire on the day after Christmas, December 26th, including the Pandemic Unemployment Assistance and Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation Benefits. And these are two big ones. The ban on home evictions for those Americans who are unable to pay rent, and also for students who have had their student loans on deferment. So hopefully our government can get their act together and come together for some sort of stimulus relief, because it's out of hand, right? At this point, I just think that even if we can part of it passed, some relief to some Americans, I think that's a step in the right direction. So Mondays are always interesting for the financial markets because you have news from typically Friday evening through the weekend. Investors then need to decipher whether it has positive or negative effects as it pertains to their investments. For example, this past weekend, we learned how each of us deals with crisis. And what crisis am I talking about? Well, the crisis of the pandemic, of not being able to celebrate a very human, family-loving holiday of the Thanksgiving. And of course, some of us, myself included, chose to celebrate as we somewhat normally would do by connecting with grandparents, but this year just a little different via FaceTime or versus in person. And then many of us were faced with what else to do next. In my house, we certainly cooked. We cooked a lot and took a breather from homework for the kids and work for me. But we also found ourselves with the question of what do you do with yourself when you're faced with a pandemic, a crisis, and more time, right? Just free time. For years, we've been so busy with work, with family, with traffic, with groceries, with games and get-togethers, with trips. And all of a sudden, we have what feels like a lot of time, but not a lot of things to do, right? Which is not safe to do a lot, at least not in the way we're used to doing them. So each of us is faced with the question of what do I do now? And for some of this meant more family time, or for many of this meant keeping busy technologically somehow. And for many, it meant shopping for Black Friday and today's Cyber Monday, and perhaps engaging in retail therapy. And I think that's important to have a discussion about today, because the actions you and I make financially between this last week and the end of the year will set the stage for what is to come to our journey towards financial independence into your future. So thank you so much, Lena, for being here. So awesome to see you. And she says, I'm willing to sacrifice holiday for safety and wellness. I'm with you on that. Certainly, I feel like this was something I could do for the rest of my country by keeping myself and my family at home. It just meant one less potential, problem. We didn't want to get hurt or something and then, have to take up a bed in the hospital. Not a good idea. So that was sort of our thinking too. You see, we need to get to a point where we can separate our feelings from our spending. And that's what I want to talk about today. It's not easy. I'm the first to admit. I bought a thing or two this holiday season that I probably could live without. And I actually might decide to return some of it. And you might feel the same. And yet we know that budgets, money is simply math. If your minuses are greater than your pluses in any given day, that's going to end up with a lot of financial headaches and anxiety long term, right? It just sort of is that snowball effect. So the opportunity is to take a moment to just breathe and recognize what's been done and appreciate that we have an opportunity to shift right now. Like we literally can make changes right now and that we can do this together. So here's what I like to call financial detox for the holidays, and if you're watching, definitely spread the message. Let's talk about financial detox for just a moment. And I promise you, it'll make you feel so much better. You'll feel so much more in control and maybe even a little bit better about your current situation, whether it be really great like Lena's or maybe not so great. And that's okay. Today on Twitter, I shared this tweet actually, and I said, a PSA: if you're managing your budget, today is a great day to go through your email and unsubscribe to all those, unnecessary retail thingamajiggers that they want you to shop, they want you to come in, they want you to buy because there's so much good deals and there's like shopping portals and all this stuff. And good for your wallet means good for your future. And I wanted to share that because, many of you probably are doing the same thing. I actually talked to Mike Meeback from Fox News, and this morning he said I woke up to my email full of emails from different companies that wanted me to shop. And that's really true. And I think that's, certainly what they need to do. Businesses need to continue to have retail sales to survive, but you also need to make sure that you have and you continue to keep more dollars in your wallet so that you'll have a stronger future. So that's the key thing. So here's what I want to share some tips. So that was my first tip that I shared on Twitter. But since, we're like family here, we get to spend more time together. These are some of the other tips I want to share with you. So step number 2, head over to your emails and take a look at all your online confirmations. I actually watched a video from my friend Brian Sawzy on Yahoo Finance today, and he actually put out a video. He was in New York City and he was walking by Macy's in New York City. And as you know, Macy's in New York City is a big deal. Typically there's a Thanksgiving parade that goes through, by Macy's in New York. It's typically around the holidays. New York is a place you want to visit because it's absolutely beautiful. And actually, he was there on Black Friday at Macy's, which I think he said was like 11 floors. I've been to Macy's, I can't remember. He says it's literally like empty. You walking in the store, it's like completely empty because people were staying at home and people are certainly doing a lot of their shopping online. Well, for you, what I want you to do is head over to your emails, whichever email address you use for your shopping. I know one of my best friends, she uses like the secret email address because she doesn't want people to know, like her true email address. And I want you to take a look at all those order confirmations. The confirmation is your order has been placed. Congratulations, your order, and then we're processing your order. Which one do you wish you could cancel today? That's why I want to ask you. Take a look at your orders and just think about that. And then take the step. Go on live chat, make a call, send an email, see if you can cancel the order. In fact, places like Amazon actually make it really easy. You can actually go online, actually submit cancel. And if you can't cancel the order and you're really just like, oh my goodness, Winnie, you're right, I shouldn't have spent that money, I shouldn't have bought that. What you might want to do is when the delivery comes, or you're expecting to come, actually you can refuse delivery. If you refuse delivery, the UPS or Netflix, FedEx or whoever actually can take your order back to the company that was scheduled. And you can just say, I refuse delivery. And that will then be credited back to your account. And that's key. So think about that. Think about something that you might have ordered that you don't really need, you don't really want at this point, and try to cancel the order. The third thing is to create an experience instead. This is really important. I always think you have to replace a negative with a positive, right? So this is about creating experience. Think about when you were a kid, right? What was that really amazing experience you had during the holidays? And this could be like as simple as watching a video, maybe watching something on Netflix, reading an article, setting up a Zoom together with your friends, your tweeps, your peeps. Donate some stuff. I don't know, donating and getting rid of things in my house feels so good. I love to do that. Call a friend and create a moment. Your moments help build doses of inner wealth. Just trust me on this, okay? Then number 4, I want you to create and challenge yourself this week to create a sustainable, experience-driven habit. You're like, what? I know, I know. Okay. I'm going to explain here. So maybe it's just having something to do every Saturday morning. I want you to think about creating a sustainable, experience-driven habit. That's what I said, right? But put something into action, and if it helps you, write it down. Mine's actually pretty easy. I'll share this with you because you might actually want to adopt it. I like to try new things, and I've always liked this. Like when my husband and I were dating, like before we got married, we'd always go with another couple or a couple friends, and every weekend we would try a new restaurant. Like every Friday, it would be like our thing. We would celebrate a week of hard work, and we go to a new restaurant. So what I try to do is every weekend try and do something new. So when we would travel, I'd want to check out a new place, maybe a new park. Even when my kids were little, we go to a new park that we haven't been to with them to visit, to see what the swing set looked like there, the slides look like there, and everything. Whatever it is, we would try something new. It could be as simple as going to Costco and trying a new sample for the week. I know you can't do that now. But my weekend thing was to always try something new. Now there's a lot of watching a new Netflix series, trying a new recipe, organizing a new corner of the house, making it new, teaching my kids something new, maybe a great adult skill set, maybe a new way to look at things, a new way to get along with each other. That's what I want to challenge you to do, and that's what I want you to think about. So those are my 4 steps. I'm going to take some time, make sure to get this put together and write an article so I can share this with more people long term. But I want you to think about that a little bit. Those are my 4 steps for you to tackle today, Cyber Monday, because I care about you and your financial future, and I definitely don't want you to have buyer's remorse. I definitely don't want you to have wallet and financial future remorse. All right. So thank you so much always for tuning in as we talk trending and real news that you can use. Please continue to send me your questions and comments by just responding here. Super, super easy. Your questions are continuing to help so many. And thank you so much for watching, supporting our program, and of course, sharing the show. Share it everywhere. Be well. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Take care now. Bye-bye.